Hey guys, this is Richard from PortableDigest.com, and we've just gotten in the mail a box. It should be our Droid 3 review unit, but let's see what's inside. It's deep in there. Huh, there it is, our Droid 3 review unit. I'll just set that off, get this box out the way. While this is an older handset and it's about to be replaced, we figured it would be a good idea to take a look at one. Just to see how things have improved since, maintenance releases and updates and things like that. But enough about that. Let's get to the specs of the device. Let's look at the box. Alright, got your hearing aid compatibility. It is TTY compatible. Top front of the box. Typical Verizon branding. It comes with the phone itself, a standard lithium-ion battery, it's SIM card pre-installed. This is a global phone, global literature kit, a wall and USB charger, safety and warranty brochure, and a quick reference guide. And that's about it as far as box contents go. It has Android and it's powered by Adobe Flash. About that, let's just open the box now. See what's inside, shall we? Alright, so in typical Verizon fashion, we have the phone itself here, and the screen cover is labeled with the different buttons and things like that, which is pretty important. It's really nice to see that manufacturers are doing this these days. It makes it easier for newcomers to actually, get used to the phone. Set that off to the side real quick. See what else is in the box. You have here your wall USB charger. You have the battery right here, and that is a 3.7 volt battery, and it is, let's see if we get the focus real quick. Alright, well, in any case, I guess you cannot see that, but it is of size 1500 milliamp hours, so that should be pretty decent. It's typical for smartphones these days. We have the USB data and sync charger. It is a micro USB unit. We have the back cover. This is a standard back cover. There's also an optional inductive charging back cover, but our device doesn't have that. And then we get the typical Motorola Droid Verizon manuals, the master your device, the consumer information guide, the consumer information about RF emissions and responsible driving, and we get a copy of that in Spanish as well. You also get the global support guide, and it has an important SIM activation requirement. We'll take a look at that later. And then we have, finally, important information about global roaming settings and charges. Yes, this phone can roam, and it uses the Vodafone network to do so. They're Verizon's roaming partner. Put the literature aside, put the box out the way. Alrighty, we'll put the phone back here. Phone itself, typical Verizon Motorola Droid branding on the phone. It is a 4-inch display here. 4 inches QHD resolution. So that's very nice. And it has a 30% faster graphics chip than the Droid 2, which is also a very positive thing. Let's go ahead and peel off all this plastic here. Set off to the side there. Go ahead and pop a battery in. Here you can see the Verizon Vodafone SIM card in place for your micro SD card. This phone does not come with a micro SD card, but it does come with, I think, 8 gigabytes of onboard storage that you should be able to access. We'll check that out. You can also see the connectors for the optional inductive charging back, and there's also an optional extended battery, but we're using the standard one today. Go ahead and pop in the battery, and we'll pop on the battery cover here. It's interesting to see the battery cover not on the phone out of the box. There's a little bit of instruction to show you how to put the battery cover on. Let's see if I get it right. Alrighty. Seems like it's all clicked on. And more importantly, it seems like it's a more substantial battery cover indeed from the original Droid. Now I have an original Droid that I'll take some comparison shots with, but not during this unboxing video, just because it's kind of an inconvenient place. But we take a look at the phone itself so far. You have your earpiece here, your front-facing camera. Yes, even though it's a 3G device, you do have a front-facing camera, so I guess on Wi-Fi things will work out pretty well. You have your proximity sensor and ambient light sensor. Once again, you have your 4-inch QHD display. That is, I want to say 960 by 500 resolution. It's actually 960 by 540 pixels, so it should be quite a nice screen despite using pen tile technology, which we'll talk about later on. You have your 4 capacitive Android buttons: menu, home, back, and search. On the right spine of the phone, you have your volume up and down controls. There's no dedicated camera switch. Bit of a disappointment there, but again, more and more QWERTYs are getting rid of that camera switch. The Stratosphere that we just reviewed earlier didn't have one either, compared to the Epic 4G, which is basically the same phone. Left hand side, nothing except for your USB. Again, it's micro USB, and your HDMI ports. These are flipped backwards, so they will not work with the lap dock if you have one for some reason. And anyway, this phone does not come with, I believe, with the lap dock software, so you wouldn't be able to use it anyway, but still, they're right next to each other, so good for docking, I guess. Back here is your speaker phone, Motorola logo. It's not metal this time, this is actually plastic. And the camera, which is an HD video camera capable of recording in 1080p. For some reason my camera's not autofocusing. Sorry about that. And it's an 8 megapixel camera with that looks like a single LED flash. I'm going to go single for that. On top, your power button, place to pry off the battery cover, and your 3.5mm headphone jack. Now hopefully this headphone jack will stay put better than the original Droid's headphone jack, which, you know, if you had one for a while, it eventually died, you know, that's how the story goes. Enough about the outside. Let's look at the main story of why you'd want a Droid 3, which is the keyboard. This is a substantially improved keyboard, and again, I'll be showing comparison shots of the keyboard with other devices, you know, coming up. But so far, let's look down here. So far, it looks to be like a very nice improvement. Overall, the keys are wider. There's actually spacing. The keys are individual this time. There's a dedicated number row. Let's see how it feels real quick. I'd have to see exactly how it feels when we turn the phone on in just a few seconds, you know, once I'm typing on the screen, seeing how things come up. But it's a definite, if you're coming from the Stratosphere, going back to this phone for some reason, you might feel like it's just a teeny bit less, I don't know, tactile comparison. Things are a bit flatter. There's not a definite, you know, clicky feel. There's definitely, the keys are definitely nicely sized. You can hear them click, but you can't, there's not that, you can't really, you can feel them, but it's not, you know, right there, like the Stratosphere's keyboard. So time will tell, but enough about the keyboard. It's getting, like I said, it's fully backlit, you know, dedicated number row. Just seems all in all, good layout, nice space bar. Hopefully it's a nice firm one, seems like it is. But let's go ahead and try turning on the phone, see if there's any power left in it. Alright. Turn on the phone. It is a dual-core device. It is powered by a TI OMAP processor. It is at 1,000 megahertz. It's 1.2 gigahertz, if I recall correctly. It has 512 megabytes of RAM, and it has a micro SD slot that supports up to a 32 gigabyte card. Right there. Now, it also has a It has GPS, it has Bluetooth, typical, smartphone stuff you'd expect these days. The HDMI port is micro HDMI. I should have mentioned that. So you will need to get a micro HDMI cable, but normally people would figure that out. It also has a notification light, which is nice. It's not on right now, but the Stratosphere notoriously does not have one, unlike other handsets, which is, a bit of a disappointment. I mean, people, expect ways to be notified of things. It's just, we would have liked to see that on the Stratosphere. But enough about that. Let's just go ahead and set up the phone. This is running Moto Blur. This is, well, sort of. It's actually Motorola's applications platform. It's the latest version of their UI overlay and enhancements to Android. This is running Gingerbread Android 2.3, and then we're going to have to activate the handset. So after I do that, we'll go ahead and continue with the setup process. Anyway, we can turn on the phone here. We wasn't able to complete the setup process on camera because we had to activate the phone, and that involves going online and doing all that. But if we look at the phone here, you notice it has a Gingerbread screen off animation. You have the Motorola application platform unique lock screen with a unique slider. It's turning off here. Sorry about that. A unique slider to change it to rare or silent, which is nice. And to unlock, just drag across. You'll notice specific differences throughout the operating system. The theme, for example, it's a bluish theme here. And then you notice that you're able to dismiss individual notifications, which is also nice. You're going to notice unique widgets as well. Let's zoom in a little closer here. Notice unique widgets. For example, the favorite contacts widget, if you pull it down, it animates. It's really cool. It's not everybody's cup of tea. Some people find that the glow, for example, and the blue, and just some of the animations are a bit over the top. But personally, at least for right now, I'm having no trouble with it. Just launch the camera. I'm trying to see if we can do a helicopter view, which we can. Oops. So accidental touches, sorry about that. Which you can also do a helicopter view by just tapping that button twice. Oh, sorry about that. There you go. If you tap it once on this device, you get a helicopter view of your 5 home screens. There's no way to add more as far as I can tell. You get 5 and that's it. At least one of the unique things about the MAP skin, if you will, is the widgets are resizable, which is nice. So you can take and shrink one, and you see that red glow, that means you can't go that far, but you can make it, for example, this size, and it shows no upcoming meetings. That's really cool. We like that. If you open the app drawer, you'll find some other differences as well. It is, instead of a horizontal list, is a swipe left to right list with more animations and such and TouchWiz. As far as bloatware goes, typical Verizon stuff. So you have Kindle, you have Blockbuster, your Vcast App Store. See here, your City ID. You have GoToMeeting, which is a business-oriented application. You have Verizon IM, Let's Golf 2. You have, what else? My Verizon Mobile, NFL Mobile. You have Nova HD as well, so that's a nice add-in, I guess, if you're into that. Skype Mobile, Slacker, Quick Office, typical Vcast suite, Vcast Music, Media, Tones, Videos, Voice Command. I do believe that's probably powered by Nuance or something, because Google's voice search is right next to it. VZ Navigator, Zumocast, which is a Motorola thing. That's pretty much it. Only 3 pages of apps compared to, I don't know, 4, maybe 5 were on the Stratosphere. The good thing is that, like the Stratosphere, you have ways of, getting rid of some of those apps, hiding them from view, you can create a new group and shove them all there. It's that way you want to see them, which is nice. And you can also, let's see here, you can also just see the Verizon preloaded stuff if it loads. The Verizon branded preloaded stuff. There's some other stuff, obviously, like the Citrix GoToMeeting and the Nova HD games and Let's Golf that just aren't displayed here. But that's fine. And you also have a click link to the market, which is also a nice touch as well. Speaking of nice touches, you can configure 3 icons of your choosing in the dock at the bottom, kind of like TouchWiz. To do that, you just tap and hold, and you can see there's like a plus sign. If you want, I can just replace that. And then it'll just ask you to confirm, replace camera with email. You can choose not to ask it again when you replace it. There you go, email's right there. Pretty cool, you know, it's a nice way to have quick access to the things you use most often too, which is also nice. Alright, so far, let's see if we can do so far things seem really smooth and snappy. The dual core processor seems to be animating everything very fluidly. I don't notice really any amounts of lag, really, which is nice. The 512 megabytes of RAM seems to help, although more and more higher-end phones these days are coming with 1 gigabyte of RAM or 768 megabytes of RAM, which, to be honest, I kind of would have liked to see. Overall, though, things seem pretty fluid. I'm noticing no issues there. As far as speeds go, this is a 3G phone, which is one of the biggest downsides of this device right now. With so many people going 4G, you might be tempted to, get something like Stratosphere instead, or, even a phone like the Droid 4, which is coming out, which will be LTE, of course. It's coming out really soon, but we wanted to take a look at this, see how much it's improved. Let's take a look at the dialer. You notice it has also been skinned. I personally find this a very appealing looking dialer. It is a lot less, bright and in your face than the camera is letting on. It's actually very nice. I mean, beyond that, it's pretty standard stuff, except it's, tinted blue. Typical Motorola application platform blue, which is nice. Hit the home key here. Go ahead and launch the camera. We'll go ahead and cancel on the location settings. Here we go. The camera UI, it's not my, at least right now, first impressions. It seems pretty decent. It seems pretty easy to use. You have your scene modes, which is nice, even the steady shot mode. It'll be interesting to test camera, see if things like the blue tinge, which people have reported have been fixed or not. You do get panorama mode, which is a nice bonus. You can adjust your brightness and your flash from there. Your zoom level is on screen too. Something that wasn't typically clear on the Stratosphere. But, once you got used to using the volume controls, it became easy. It also has a front-facing camera, so we just flip it around. You can see me and that tripod that I have the Stratosphere on that's taking the picture. That one's about to go back. Let's see, let's find something to take a picture of. We'll take a picture of this right here. This keychain has, several different colors in it. Just a quick test picture. We'll test a flash and all that because this is sort of a dark area here. So we'll just take a quick picture of that. Test shutter response time and all that. Right, and shutter seems to be pretty good. We'll just lay it back here. Set it back down and view it, view the picture. Focus is pretty well. While it may look slightly blue on the video, at least that's how it's coming through on the Stratosphere, it is fairly solid on the phone itself. there's a bit of lag in the pinch and zoom, at least in the in-camera photo viewer, which is a bit disappointing considering this is a dual-core phone. You expect everything to be buttery smooth, but overall, it's a pretty solid phone, pretty solid experience so far. And we're going to be putting this through its paces and giving you a full review in a few days, with a follow-up review per usual in a few weeks. And there you have it, guys, the unboxing of the Motorola Droid 3 for Verizon. See you then.